Hello world, my name is Tim Roswick, and I'm with
Bim.
the one and only Bim, and we're here for a GameDev.tv community stream.
Oh,
How's everybody doing? How's life? How's things going? I figured chat is on the right side in the
it is.
sidebar if you need to see it.
I found chat.
One day we'll have a stream without technical difficulties. I swear.
We were running a little behind today for that reason,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. I'm very sorry about that. Tim's internet, it's just a terrible thing.
I wish we could blame my internet. That would be nice. But like, no, this is just the technology and the interwebs.
It is.
Yeah, dude, you know what's weird about game dev right now is I feel like it's super quiet.
Yeah.
The world of game dev is quiet. I know there's a lot going on professionally with jobs and big studios and all that, but like, I don't know. A lot of my game dev friends have been quiet last month.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard. I guess, is it ever loud? You know? Arc Blender,
Is it
welcome,
loud?
by the way.
Well, it is loud around big indie releases or around like crazy community times or game jam times. Like the when was the GMTK jam? That was just recently, right?
Yeah. I actually don't know. But yes, I think it was recently.
Well, let me hold on. Let me look that up.
Nick Marr, lots of layoffs, no Arc Blender. Welcome in everybody, by the way. Dan, Bijo, Borg Skeptic, Kira Fontaine, Mihail, Elevate Benefit, I like that name. Pawn Takes Pawn, Eric, welcome in. Dave Stomper, Jack, Blender, Yuka, I'm probably gonna miss some people. Eric Venemeyer. Hello everybody. Welcome in.
I like skulls. I don't know what would give you that impression. I'm actually super against skulls.
He is.
I don't know why you would think that. Skulls are offensive and nobody should display them. They're dead humans. Like, why would you?
Well, Tim, why do you keep skulls? You've told me before. Tell chat. what's Tim actually has a weirdly. It's not a meme. It's very philosophical.
No, this is like dark
it's
dude.
Legit. It's guys, prep for some dark philosophy.
All right, way to start the stream, Bim.
We're going in deep. And then we'll come out lighter, and everybody will be happy.
There's a Latin phrase called Memento mori, which means remember death. I've been through some stuff in my life, and I've been through some really dark times, and remembering that I'm gonna die helps me live quite a bit. And there was a point in my life where I needed a lot of stuff to keep going, and that really, really helped me. So my whole, I don't know. It's just, I have them everywhere. I have them on my desk. My company's called Skullbox. It just kind of reminds me that you got to live. You got to touch grass.
There's a
really go outside.
Terrible, I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's a really terrible, like, poster you can buy to go on your wall, and it's got, I think it's 100 years worth of weeks as little boxes. Tim, I don't know. Can you pull that up? I don't know if that's
100.
I don't want to type in life in weeks.
Let's test the Googles.
And 100 years of weeks. Like, no, it's posted. Let me see if I can find it.
It's an image. Oh, like this.
Like this, yes, that's it. And basically, the aim is that each week goes by, you cross a week off. And I think that's what Tim's getting at, is that what motivates him is that, is remembering death is out there, and is pushing through it. For me, this would kill me. Actually,
Crippling
it
anxiety.
would cripple. Yeah, this is not motivating for me at all. That's grim, just straight up. It's so it's 5 years worth of weeks in a chunk. But looking at it like that, it's like, oh man, that is not it. You know?
It's, everybody struggles with sort of mental health and keep on keeping on and all that stuff. But I think especially when you have a computer focused profession, especially when, there's a lot of neurodivergence, especially when you have sort of an isolating job or hobby, that stuff can extrapolate even more, and taking care of yourself is really, really important. And then, you got not just straight up depression and anxiety and all that stuff, but also burnout, creative industries, but especially game dev, where we feel, so passionate about these things that we're creating. It's not like a canvas painting, right? That, because it can take years. 2 of my games now have taken close to half a decade. What? That's a long time. Looking at these, that's a lot of weeks. That's a lot
yeah.
That's a lot of weeks.
It's very strange. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, you gotta put in the work to make sure that you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
you can slip into not okay without knowing it, and then you can do things that make it worse.
Definitely. And Eric is saying, Tim, you're speaking all my languages right now. Yeah, this is a heavy start to the stream, but we're just, hey, somebody brought up skulls. But no, it's important to remember, and it's, we all have our own motivating factors and the things that carry us forward. But Tim, this is it.
Persona 3? Hold on. I haven't played Persona 3. This covers Memento Mori and the...
Glad you're okay, Tim.
Standard version.
We're all glad Tim's okay.
Guys, I appreciate it. I'm doing well.
He's alive. He's kicking.
It's been 3 years since I posted a YouTube video on my channel.
It has been.
A lot of people think I'm just missing in action, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm doing okay.
No,
I just needed a break from that.
Yeah.
This is cool. I might give this a shot.
Bim seems very happy. I'm just chilling. I like being with Tim. We're cool.
Aww.
I like being with you guys.
Aww.
Yeah.
Aww. He's just hanging out.
I don't like. You know what? I'm just here for chat.
Yeah.
True, but life will miss a good one for pain. That's true.
It does. It's kind of like game design in a way. It's one of the reasons why I like game design, is because we were talking about this last week with the sort of platformer design, where it's if you give someone a really intense level, then you have to lower that intensity first, because you can't just keep building intensity. You have to sort of see the difference between intensity and non-intensity to really feel what's going on. So I do think there's a lot of that's true in just art in general. And I think the people that gravitate towards creative arts generally tend to be more in tune with that side of their brain, for, on the positive side or negative side, some kind of balance. Yeah. We're all crazy in some way.
I read somewhere that God, this is such a deep start, guys. It will not be like this from now on. I promise. We're just chilling. But I read somewhere that for a lot of artists, it's gonna sound cringe, cheesy, whatever, but art is the closest we've come to the meaning of life. And I think that's very poetic, and I think that's true for me.
Wow.
And
that's
I think
deep.
that that's deep. And it's the good and the bad, and I agree with that. I think there's this abstract expression in video games, in stories, in literal pieces of paintings, and it's why I love it so much. I love video games. I love making video games. I love playing video games. I love movies. Or, anything creative to me, it just feels like expression. And and that's the important thing. Yeah,
it's expression on a level, because I've done a lot of art stuff. I've made music. I've made 2D art. I've made 3D art. I've done a lot of stuff, but one of the things I loved about game dev was system design and world creation, because growing up, I kind of felt like I was an alien, people didn't understand me, and I didn't understand them, and I didn't really fit in. But if I could create a world, I would fit in.
Yeah. Damn, Tim, we've lost your audio. We've lost your audio. Guys, I don't know if you can... Did the wire come out? No. Audio's gone. Guys, so this is exactly the technical issues we were having prior to the stream today, but it's okay. Oh, no, he's back. He's back. Welcome, Tim. Welcome back, Tim.
Unexpectedly. Can you hear me?
I can now. Yeah.
Okay.
What were you saying?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, let's read some
I'd
of the
sleep
chat.
for eternity if I could. As someone learning game dev and daily struggles, we can actually click on these too, and they magically
they bring
appear.
them up on the screen. If someone's trying to learn game dev and data struggles, agency and depression, it's hard to get out of bed sometimes, learn to focus and learn to put code on the screen. Definitely.
I've felt that. I've 100% felt that before. Oh, dude, there's times where like I don't even want to look at my phone for all the happy dopamine stuff. You know, there's like I just want to lay there. I've been there, but I've also been like can't get off the computer. Really have to go to the bathroom. Really need to solve this coding problem. Okay, fine. I need to sleep after 20 hours. Lay in bed, fix a coding problem in my head. Have to get back up and go to the computer.
Go do it. Yeah, definitely.
So it's a struggle. It is, and I always say one of the things I've said on my YouTube channel a ton was like, discipline is working when you don't want to work, but it's also not working when you want to work. Like you have to learn balance, because either one of those spectrums can put you in a really sort of negative cycle, right? It's actually the mid chunk that can help you balance it for longer terms. Yeah. That's a really good point, actually. Not working, learning to take breaks. You did a couple of YouTube videos about that. Knowing when to rest, knowing when to stop. Yeah. Well, dude, burnout has been such a headline in my life. Yeah. And I've never... I'm to be honest, I still haven't cracked it. I've gotten better at sort of managing the extremes, but like I still burn myself out, dude, with my projects. And I don't really know why. Like I'm so intense in those areas, but like it just happens, dude. And I just have to like caution that. Like I have to treat myself like I'm a brother or a loved friend, right? I have to say, listen, it's time. We got to go do this thing. I know we don't want to, but we got to, you know. Yeah. You got to treat yourself like someone you care about, someone you love, you know? Yeah. That can be hard when it's yourself. For sure. So Dave said, really like the new game dev site. Well done, whoever was responsible for it. Well done, Tim. You solely responsible. That's not me. It's not no. There's a lot of people that are involved. I appreciate you guys. I know we've had some issues, and I appreciate everybody that stuck with us through our ups and downs. But you know, this I am heavily involved in the team that built this, and I'm very proud of it. Yeah, it took a long time. There's a lot of problems. We had a lot of people pulled from all kinds of areas to deal with stuff. Yeah, it was but we made it work. Or you made it work. By the way, if you don't know, there's a recently accessed section now on your dashboard. So you'll be able to access your recently accessed courses, which is a super requested feature. There's a bunch of other stuff that we're reworking currently, like Q&A and a bunch of that stuff too. But I'm super happy with this thing. This is like art too. This is one of the things I burned myself out on too, by the way. This has been a 2-year process of building this thing. A lot of work. A lot of work, and from a lot of people. Yes, So thanks for that. I appreciate that comment. Ark saying, by the way, guys, do you guys do game dev or do you guys or game dev do any portfolio reviews? Oh, GameDev.tv. I see. I don't know. I don't. Pop a portfolio link. I don't know. Listen, okay, we can't promise we'll do this permanently. Well, yes. With like 50 people in here, we can handle this. If somebody's got a portfolio or something they want us to look at, give us a look. Yeah, I will. But we reserve the right to stop doing it at any point. We can't promise. And also that this is not financial or legal advice. It's not. We are not lawyers. We're not lawyers.
Yeah. But no, we can take a look for sure. Somebody asked if you still do live streams with Rick. I don't think you guys still do that. I think that's what this is actually.
Rick is a busy man. He's the
is.
CEO now, so he's got a lot of CEO stuff to do.
I have important business to take care of.
The platform he launched, he's got to figure out taxes and accounting reporting. I left it to him. I'm like, have fun. Global taxes across 170 countries.
Yeah. Nice.
Good luck, Rick.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna do the fun stuff. I'm gonna program fancy button features.
Yeah. The choice was live stream or global taxes. Tim was like, I'm live streaming. Yeah. But no, some of the content, the old content was good. I don't know if you guys pay attention to our YouTube shorts, maybe not, maybe, but there's some Tim Rick stuff on there.
There's some bangers on there too.
There is. Are we plugging the YouTube shorts? Maybe we are. There's also some non bangers, but yeah.
Bim is being modest. He's making a lot of these, and he's really proud of them.
I am proud of some of them.
Some of them. Look at that.
Yeah, get me out of there. Get me out of there.
I don't know where that's at.
Guys, there's a benefit. Listen, there's one benefit to being the age I am, which I'm not going to tell you what it is, but there's one benefit, which is that sometimes the people who are above you don't know what certain words mean because they haven't caught up with the slang yet. And so sometimes I've been able to communicate with you guys
subliminally.
Oh,
you said effectively.
Well, both. Because
are you talking about the edging video?
I am talking about the edging video. Yes. Yeah. And all now, thanks to that video, because it did well. Everybody knows what edging is. So.
We had to explain that.
We did.
We had an edging video about Blender, and then it did really well. And they were like, "Why did this Blender video?
What does edging?
Well, it's apparently edging in Blender is great." And then we had to explain. Well, okay, listen.
Yeah. But we did it. We pulled through. I had one of my bosses, one of my higher ups, in a formal meeting explaining to me what edging was, which is crazy. Can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah, how do you find time for dev with kids? I have a 1-year-old, and I feel like I only have time for 30-minute gaming session at a time. I can easily spend 30 minutes reading and rereading code. Yeah, well, that's kind of imagine.
Bro,
Tim,
it's hard. It's hard. Listen, I have an 8-week-old. Okay, she's beautiful and amazing.
It's me.
She's also loud and interrupty. So, yeah, that's. If I figure out some tips, I'll let you know. I'm still in the thick of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough, Muzz. Honestly, that's definitely not a helpful answer, but it's tough. I mean, the empathy, the sympathy, it's all there. Visible is saying, sorry, Tim, I was going to read this comment. Visible saying, I have 3 kids, 8 year, 3 year, and 10 months. I just spent 2 to 3 hours after 9 p.m. Well, right. I suppose depending on how old the kids are,
that's what you got to do.
After they go to bed, you got to just use that time. But yeah, there's a billion other things I can imagine. You've got to take care of your partner, your laundry, housework. I mean, there's just so much going on. It's hard. 2 30-year-olds, but still opinions about. The best thing I can say is like that's worked for me and my wife is like talk about it, like legit, like, hey, this is really important to me, and I'm not being able to do it, and it's bothering me. And then my wife and I have something that works really well for us. I'm a late night owl. I stay up till 2 or 3 a.m. and she's sort of an early riser. So she'll go to bed at like 9 or 10 p.m. and then I'll stay up for a couple hours with the baby. If the baby should be sleeping by then, but sometimes how that works. Sometimes they decide not to. And then I'll put her to bed and I'll go to bed at like 2 a.m. So we sort of sleep in staggered chunks. And that gives us both a little bit of alone time. Jack's saying he's got a future project. Future's a project manager. Jack's kid. I have an 8-year-old going on 9, so he gets involved with game dev with me helping design levels and mechanics. That's really cool. Tim, I don't think your 8-week-old is quite there yet.
Dude, I've tried.
You've tried?
I've tried to get her to say programming words. She just goes, and then like blows bubbles out of spit.
She's
But
just trying to communicate. Yeah.
she's
She's just, she's got ideas. She's got to listen.
She does. We just need to get them out of her head. She doesn't like. I was reading her a book about, or my wife was reading her a book about numbers the other day, and she was getting really upset when the numbers would fall out of the tree every time. She didn't like that.
Oh, that's sweet. Three kids here get up at 5 a.m. to dev. Yeah, you guys have all kinds of strategies. Like Tim's saying, you just got to find the crazy time that works for you, that happens to, slot into your life. Yeah, I can imagine it's hard. Definitely.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of parents in here.
Well, yeah. I was about to say. Yeah. Dave Stomper says, "Where is Ben? Ben Tristan? I imagine you're
the legend.
The legend.
Legends tell he still roams these halls.
He's in my house somewhere.
Yeah.
But
if we find him, we'll let you know.
We will. We will put him forward. Totally fair answer. Yeah, I teach students in different time zones, so I can be able to teach until 2 a.m. some days. Hard enough to find time for video games, let alone game dev. I miss it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Look,
I'm extremely lucky, right? I have a extremely supportive partner. I have a super flexible work schedule, and I work from home on top of that. Like, those three things together are like make my life significantly easier. I can empathize with the people that like have to go somewhere for work and be there 8-10 hours a day or something. Maybe don't have a supportive partner. Maybe like, dude, I can't. It's hard enough when all the things are green, right? Let alone a few things are yellow or red. Yeah, dude.
Definitely.
Listen, I don't know what to tell y'all if y'all are going through that, but I'm here for you, and I hope everything works out. Because it's hard.
Changing the subject slightly. Easy Mr. One, I think that's that name was said correctly. What do you think about using PCG? I'm guessing that's procedural generation. I don't know. PCG to change the map and the items that need to be found in a game to make it more interesting and replayable. Pretty sure it's not a project control group. PCG. Yeah, procedural generation. I'm gonna assume that's what that is.
Public consulting group. Well, we're not using my public consulting group.
No, well, we're not. To change the items that need to be found in the game to make it more interesting and playable by increasing the difficulty at each level. So, assuming you are talking about procedural generation, I got some opinions. But Tim, you got any thoughts?
I have dove into the world of procedural generation so hard.
You have.
This is like behind. I can like hide behind this. I could just be like.
There we go. Not anymore.
Yeah. I'm exposed now. So specifically the procedural generation difficulty, it's a good idea in theory, but you have to be careful because you have to define the rules of how your game gets more difficult. So there's some obvious ones that might actually not be a good idea. For example, we'll just add more enemies, right? There's certain game types where that's great. Shoot 'em ups, top-down shooters, like, more enemies the better. Just throw them at me, like Vampire Survivors type of games, like Horde Survival. Bring on the enemies, right? There's some games where it doesn't make a lot of sense. Platformers with limited real estate, it's not always a good idea because like you gotta have places to land, you gotta have places to move and jump and all that stuff. So that can get a little weird. So on and so forth. So you have to sort of define the rules of how your game gets more difficult. You also have to make it feel like it's not punishing to the player. So sometimes I see difficulty settings increase by like reducing health or something like that. But if you're leveling up in a game and losing health, that kind of feels bad sometimes because you're like, this is kind of backwards. Like I feel like I should be upgrading my health or whatever, right? So it's a good idea. You just got to like think through the impact of how it works, because different things. I build very systemic games, so my systems affect other systems. Bim knows when we work together, I make everything systemic. I try to.
Tim's a big systems fan, and to be honest, systems are the right way to go. My personal, Tim, tell me if you think this is the answer that I'm about to give is a personal choice. tell me if I'm just being subjective there. But so for me personally, the second I see something procedurally generated, maybe like an environment, I want to turn off the game. I'm not a fan
Whoa!
of procedural generated landscapes and yeah.
Well, I see. I just want to turn it off. Like, wow.
Well, now it depends what you mean by procedural generation, right? So, if you just did it once to generate a landscape, that's fine. But if I'm going through, I'm exploring, and I found a castle, it's like, this is sick, this is amazing. And then I walk for another, 10 minutes, and I come across the same castle just rotated because that was procedurally generated. It's like, oh, this is kind of boring. I don't like this. But maybe that's just me. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying games are objectively bad like that.
I think you're talking about the downsides of procedural generation, which is repetition. Right. That is one of the downsides of a procedure generated game. But there's a lot of upsides too, like infinite content or like, unlimited playability for runs and stuff. That being said, most straight procedural, like all code procedural environments and stuff, it's hard to make those really good. So the best kind of procedure generation is actually hybrid, which is like handcrafted stuff mixed with procedural generation stuff, right? That's the method I've ended up using a lot. I don't know if you guys, let me pull this up because some of you might find this useful. The way that Spelunky did their procedure generation is actually how I've done mine a couple times. So let me see if I can find a better visual of this. Okay, so the way that this works is, this is not a good, come on, there's got to be a better visual for this. But basically, there's a series of pre-made chunks. Well, I guess we'll just use that top one. There's pre-made chunks, okay? So each one of these, like where you see this number here, is a chunk. So there's, I think this is a 4x4, okay? So each one of these is a chunk, and it's pre-made in a text editor, usually using these numbers to represent the tiles. And then what he does is he just randomly picks chunks and then sort of connects the chunks together into a coherent level. So this is pretty popular. A lot of you probably heard of this if you work procedural generation, but this makes the procedural generation feel infinitely more handcrafted and designed. And this is actually one of those things, Ben, that gets around what you were saying, which is like, once I notice something is procedure generated, I lose interest. This is really hard to tell with the way that this is set up, because everything sort of seems handcrafted in a way, but it's just sort of assembled in a different order. And you might start to recognize some of these rooms after you played it a bunch, but there's a bunch of these rooms. So going through that content, it might be a long time before you see it again.
Yeah, but I suppose it also depends a lot on why you play games and things like that, because as Eric Venemeyer just said, there's something to be said for the feeling that you are encountering an environment that was thoughtfully and specifically designed by another human, to give a specific experience. And I agree with that. I think that, if you're a more casual player, if you're just playing for a high score, or you're playing, I don't know, there's casual games, I don't know, mobile games, maybe something like this. I don't know if this is a casual game or not. By definition, I don't know, but if I'm jumping into a video game, I want to be told a story through a narrative and cutscenes and not necessarily cutscenes, but a narrative experience. And so I suppose maybe procedural generation kind of goes against the very thing I play games for. So maybe that's where that comes from. But I don't know. I feel like there's probably some games that do both.
I think that's the holy grail, and that's what people haven't been able to really capture. Because if you play a narrative-driven game like Last of Us, or even Mass Effect, like it's just a single sort of narrative all the way, it's engaging and it's handcrafted to make you feel a certain way. And like, I remember in Mass Effect, like some of the choices are straight up like, do you want this person to die or this person to die? And it's like, oh, like that makes me feel I want to like save scum this. I don't like this decision at all, And procedure generation games have a hard time making you feel that in a way that, like, these are just imaginary characters on a screen, but like I felt they were in my party.
Yeah.
Or like the Mass Effect has like the genophage thing where it's like, do you want to unleash this virus and kill this entire population, or do you want to save this population and help them kill this other population? And like both of these options are bad. But on the flip side, you can't. A lot of those games are not really replayable. I think Mass Effect is the odd man out here because it has a lot of decisions and narrative, and you want to see how those decisions play out. But like, they're not replayable. And one of the things that's happened over the last 10, 15 years is non-replayable games don't get bought as much because people play them on stream.
Interesting.
People watch them on stream, and then they're like, well, I've experienced the thing. I don't need to buy it. Like, it's going to be the same when I play it. Versus procedural generated games, people watch it on stream. They're like, I could do that better, because it's about systems mastery versus narrative enjoyment, right?
Right.
And I think this is what I was saying is I'm a big fan of systems too. So when I design systems, I get sort of the same dopamine as like when I master systems. I want to learn exactly how to jump, no matter what comes at me, right? Like I want to know when to jump and how to jump. I don't want to memorize. Okay, 2 seconds later you press jump or whatever. I don't want to memorize a specific sequence. I want to learn the systems themselves.
Learn the system, yeah. No, that's a very good point. Yeah. No, definitely.
So I think it does appeal to a different type of player, but it also has a different way of marketing. Like the way that you have to sell a narrative-driven story is a lot different, because the live stream YouTuber stuff doesn't work as well for the narrative-driven games.
Yeah,
that don't have a procedural element to them.
I mean, the easiest one, you're asking, what do you think about PCG to change the map? I think is kind of what we've been talking about. To change the items and difficulty, I think that's easier to achieve. A game that jumps to mind is I'm sure there are plenty like this, but Alien Isolation. Depending on the difficulty you're playing, and even just depending on the run you're playing, you'll come across boxes and places where there's a little bit of loot or there's stuff to craft with, and that's just completely randomized every time you play. So even though the narrative experience is the same, I still feel like I'm having a different experience every time I play, because there's different items in different places, and
right.
So there's definitely there's room for both, for sure. But it's about which one do you want to prioritize.
Yeah.
Those
games are.
Sorry.
Those games are pretty difficult to design though, because it's one thing if like all the items can be used wherever and you can just randomize their placement, right? Or like there's 5 chests in the level, but you just randomize what's in them. That's cool. But like in Alien Isolation, like one of the reasons why that game is so awesome is because like there's certain parts where like you need a blowtorch to get through, or you need this or whatever, and so the order in which you find that tool is like affects your experience of what doors you can get in, which then affects your experience of where to go and like all this other stuff.
Yes.
So that it's really hard to randomize that, because there's a lot of safeguards that have to be put in place so that there's no soft locks, right?
Yes. Yes. So the randomization is minimal, but yes, it's just an example of how you can kind of slip it in if you want. Some variation, it's definitely there. But translating, is a good point about streaming, worth keeping in mind. Yeah, I don't know how many indie devs think about streaming. For me, it's not something I've ever, I would never, and maybe this is just a self-esteem issue, but when I'm designing games or thinking my games, I'm not thinking, okay, some dude's, PewDiePie is going to stream this or whatever, It's I don't know. Should we be thinking of that, Tim? Should indie devs be thinking of that more?
I think finishing a damn game is the most important thing. So I think if you haven't done that yet, I think you should focus on that.
Yes, you should. Yeah.
But if you're trying to make a commercial game, I think it's worth considering. I want to stress that, because I know we have a lot of beginners in this community, that like I really think finishing a game should be the sole initial goal. And I know it's like, oh, but I want to sell it, but I want to put it on Steam, but like what if it makes $1 million? I know all that stuff goes through your head. Or like, you want that like childhood feeling of like, I did a thing, look, it's on this place that like I always got games from as a kid or whatever. but like finishing it is like the most important thing, because there's so many things that you learn from finishing and publishing the game that you have no idea exist.
Yeah.
Right. Like you have no idea that they exist. Like when I submitted my game to Steam for the first time, they rejected the build because they were like, oh, when we unplug the controller, it doesn't pause.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
I didn't even, well, I wasn't even on my, okay, well, I'll make it pause when you unplug the controller. But that's a good idea. But like it, and there's 1,000 things like that. So definitely finishing it first, getting your game out there, seeing, if it's a thing that you can do and you want to do is important before you go the commercial route. Because the other thing, we were talking about mental health and stuff, going the commercial route, if can be a struggle mental health wise, because now you not only have to be a game developer, you have to be a business person and a marketer and all these other people. So you have to promote your stuff. You have to deal with people saying your stuff is garbage. You have to deal with rejection, because you're going to get way more rejection than you do acceptance, right? You're going to get negative Steam reviews. You're going to the more people see it, the more negativity that's just going to happen by way of statistics, right? Because it's just so you got to be prepared to deal with all that. And then here's the crazy thing that hit me about a commercial game. Before I launched my game, I didn't have anything to compare my game to. So it's like, here's my artwork and there's everybody else's artwork. And sure, I like a lot of other people's artwork, but like my artwork's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
But then after you launch it, you get a number. You get this game made X dollars.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, so it's like not even close to that one.
Right.
Not close to that one. That one, like this is just garbage. Like then you have like a quantifiable metric to compare all your shit to. I was not prepared for that, dude. I like, it sounds so stupid, but like the second I saw that, I was just like, I hate this. I hate this so much. I'm quitting. This sucks. I just like, and I think I did comparatively well to most indies that didn't have sort of a platform or an audience or people to push their stuff to, but still it was just like, oh man, it hit hard. It hurt.
And since then, Tim stopped. He's given up game dev, guys. He is now a full-time rapper. He's got a few songs coming out. So, yeah,
making games like every day.
He might actually do. Just saying.
Maybe rap song, maybe coming soon.
Games are awesome though, so I don't think it shouldn't be taken off the table just because of that. But streaming is worth to count with. Yeah, no, I mean, I think what you're getting there, Frank, is streaming is not priority, and it's not, but it's definitely something. I think it's the new, back in the day people would make games and think about, okay, how are YouTubers going to play my games, but now it's like, okay, well, they're going to stream games now. They can stream your whole game in like one sitting versus PewDiePie or Markiplier making a 16 episode adventure of it,
right? So
it's definitely not something to build a game around, but
yeah, well, and that's why I say too, you should finish the game first and then try to make like a commercial thing. At least in my opinion, I don't do whatever you want, but like the way that I think about it is, you want to separate that learning out, because like if you do all that at once for the first time, you are learning everything about finishing. You're learning everything about publishing. You're learning everything about Steam stores. You're learning everything about marketing, everything about promotion, everything about like all of that at once. It all comes on the tail end of a game.
Yeah.
Versus if you just make a game, release it on itch, maybe try a few game jams, right? Build a few things, go through the publication process. Okay, you learned a few things. Now it's time to try the business stuff or the promotion stuff, all that stuff, right? Because it's like you have a better. That's what can lead to burnout too. There's just so much learning on the back end of a project trying to make it commercial, and it's so demotivating too. If you spend years working on your thing and then people don't like it for whatever reason, like you know how that feels, dude. Trying to like shovel something that people hate that you love, it's like makes you feel so bad.
I mean, dude, you ran into so much controversy with Philophobia. I mean, it's kind of for a different reason, right? But in case you guys didn't know, Tim made a game a few years back called Philophobia. It's on Steam if you want to check it out. But he faced backlash for a slightly different reason, but it was demotivating. You were like making videos on your couch. You were like, people hate me. And it was because, to be fair, you were charging an extortionate amount of money for
Extortionate is what you call it? No. Look, this was my project I worked like 4 years on, okay? And I made these custom physical editions that I hand stained, bro. I made this stuff out of wood that I stained near my garage with like fucking, I didn't know how to make stain, dude. I didn't know how to stain wood. I didn't know how to make inserts. I didn't know how to get USB drives printed. I didn't know how to get cases printed.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were expensive. People thought I was trying to extort my audience. Well, Bim thought I was trying to do that.
I did. Yeah.
I
was a hater.
Yeah, dude. So they were like, I think, and then shipping didn't help too. International shipping was like $70. Like, I can't do anything about that. I face that same thing with murder bunnies. I don't know why I keep trying to make physical products. I just keep losing money.
How much did you make? Asks Nick. I mean, sorry. How much did you ask? Sorry, not how much did you make. How much did you ask?
Or Philophobia physical?
Yeah, it was like hundreds. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying. I don't
know. No. I don't remember. I think it was like $100. I think it was like right around $100.
And you could buy it on Steam for what? $10, $15, $20? I think $15.
Bro, hold on.
Tim's got it.
Look. Okay. This is a hand-stained wooden box with a burned upside down heart in it. Okay, it's actually upside down. Okay, it's burned by hand, and then inside of it is a physical edition of Philophobia in red velvet with a case and a custom pamphlet that no one got. It's got like these. It's like basically like a manual, like old school back in the day, but it's also got like some weird stuff. It's got the game, the physical edition game, but on top of that, the game itself is a custom flash drive because most people don't have CD drives. And people were like, this is art, man. I'm sorry. This is art, okay? This is literal art. And I love this thing. This meant so much to me because I did all this stuff by hand, dude.
It's cool.
And then like,
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Like to have people upset that I'm charging $100. Listen, don't buy it, okay? Don't buy it, please. Save me sanity. I won't do that again. I'm sorry. I'm never. That was so much work.
Look, I think you should. Did you ever show people what it was before you were selling it? Because I've actually never seen that.
Yeah. So, I think that was part of the problem. Is I needed the money first.
Right.
To validate the product, because if I sold like 10 copies or whatever, I would have just refunded people and said, "Listen, sorry about this, but you know, but it's And then I signed it too. I know it doesn't matter; it's just whatever. But like and I numbered these too. By the way, they're numbered 1 through 66. I think that's how many I sold.
Wow. So you sold 66 of those?
Yeah.
Wow. Fucking hell, that's pretty good. Yeah. I'm not saying each edition contains 1 beard hair. By accident, too. They just fell out when he was making them.
I have to pull beard hairs out of my child's fists, unfortunately. So they have been coming out lately, but for baby reasons.
Yeah. Just
sell that one on Etsy.
Pause briefly. So hang on. So is Frank and Talion having a conversation about Alien Isolation? Yeah, Frank, play it if you haven't. We actually have. Obviously, there's a lot of hype around Alien at the moment. If you haven't seen Alien Romulus, I highly recommend you do. It left me stunned. It's really, 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 really good. I'm a big fan. My dad's a big fan of the original Alien movies, so go check it out. It's really good.
Yeah, dude, I gotta see that new movie.
You do have to get, but it's we got to celebrate the kind of release. I don't know if you guys are aware of Grant. You probably are. Grant Abbott. He is doing a breakdown, or he has done. I've just finished editing it. It's going live tomorrow, I think. A breakdown of the Alien Isolation trailer. It's not like super detailed, but it's he spends some time. He goes through it. Talking about his favorite shots and kind of the art techniques used there. So
his favorite shots.
His favorite shots, yes, like the one I just did at the start of the stream, which is why we were delayed. But Eric just about to see Romulus in like an hour. No spoilers there. is really good. The last 15
Yeah,
minutes, oh, you won't expect it. It's great film.
I gotta see it.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, Grant, we got a new video come out, and yeah, so perfect, good timing. Yeah, just coincidental time that we're talking about Alien in the chat. But
Yeah, when's that video coming out? Do we have a date on it?
Well, I was told tomorrow. Jamie, I asked if it was scheduled. He has not replied. But everything is, thumbnails done, editing is done, the description, everything done. So, should be tomorrow. If you're interested.
All right.
But
we'll watch that video.
That's pretty good.
Sounds exciting.
It is. Any videos coming from you soon, Tim? Anything to look forward to? No. Nothing.
I'm kind of bummed now. You got me talking about death
and your failed project. Yeah.
Way to go, man.
Thanks so much.
Any other depressing subjects you want to bring up?
Well, I have murder bunnies somewhere. Should I go and grab the thing?
Never make a physical game, guys. Never do that. Never. It's not. Just don't do that. It ain't fun. It's expensive. It costs monies. Lots of monies. Any aliens in the chat? I'm sure there is. Do you really? Have you played it? Is it sealed? Is it sealed, Bim?
It is not.
Have you played it?
Sealed. I have not played it, but I do have it, and it's on display. For those who don't know, it's reverse. But that is Tim's recent excursion. Tim, are they still for sale? I don't think so. No.
I have a shit ton of copies in my garage, though.
I have a copy right here. If anyone wants to buy this off me, I will give it to you for free. I won't do that.
You're turning us to like an eBay stream?
Yes, it is. Selling all of Tim's old merchandise. But it's really cool. So I think, you know what? I love physical stuff. The older I get, the more
I do
too. Yeah.
This has been a struggle, though, dude, because it's so expensive to make.
Yeah. I mean, Tim and I were working on a project not that long ago, and I'm still working on it. And we're not going to talk about it in too much detail, but I did make these little key rings for real cheap, but they're pretty cool. I mean, physical stuff can be cheap. Tim just decides to go all out and make full-on board games and hand-carved wood. One day a box like that might be auctioning for tens or hundreds of thousands. Well, if Tim's career continues on the up, guys, we got to get him more subscribers on YouTube. Make a few close friends. No, Nick, no, you're right. It's not offended. We're just jiving off each other. But make a few close friends. Well, I agree with that. I think giving close friends stuff, little things, or the people who help make the game or your projects or whatever is really nice. Actually, it's really, it's just really good. I just think it's really nice.
Dude, I really do love physical stuff. The physical card games are something I wanted for the longest time because I spent so much time in local game stores and playing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments and all that stuff. So it was it was a childhood dream of mine, but it also costed me a lot of money. It's negative. It's net negative. We raised $13,000 on Kickstarter. Yeah. And I think it costed like $18K finally to like ship everything.
Wow.
And let me tell you why. I opened this copy so you guys can see this. I had to make a choice. This is one of those choices I had to make. I don't know if this is relevant to any of your lives, so I apologize if I'm boring you with this. But this right here is a board. Okay, it's a foldable. This is a brand new copy, so it's like, let's see if you can see this, but it's like a foldable game board, right? It folds out. Blah blah blah. I don't know how this works. Yeah, like that. But it basically, it's like a board game board that folds out. Okay. I could not get this printed with a poster for the board. I looked at it, I tried to do it, and the poster was not a good experience. It was like this like folded piece of paper, and it just didn't work and it was like it was hard to get on a table. You had to like unfold paper, but the paper wanted to stay folded, and like I realized that like some people are okay with that, but I could not do that. The cost, the physical cost to me of the paper was about 30 cents.
Right.
The physical cost to me of the board was $10.
Wow.
Because I had to get it manufactured in the US because there was a shipping shortage at the time.
Right. Yes.
So it was extremely expensive.
Yeah. Damn.
That one decision was the difference between that game being profitable and me making a loss.
Just the board, whether to manufacture the boards.
Yeah. And I don't know why I made that decision, dude. I really but I couldn't make another decision. I couldn't go with the paper. For some reason, this game had to be like perfect. The components had to be great. Like the board had to be high quality. I just did not want to play on that like paper mat.
Yeah.
And I'm a bad business person is the lesson here. Like I made some dumb business decisions.
You're a sentimental. Are you more of a game dev than a well? I mean, I know you originated in business, right? But I feel like with Murder Bunnies, you really put the game developer in you first, which maybe was not a good decision. But like you were saying, you wanted to put that cardboard mat in there first. That was the priority rather than being profitable. So thank you for your sacrifice. It made the game so much better. But Kira is saying
that's something people don't even know. They're not even going to know that.
No, they're never going to know.
Just make it so much better. They'll never know. They probably would have been fine with a paper, dude. And honestly, then the paper would have reduced shipping costs because of lower weight, and like it would have. It was a better business decision. But I couldn't make it.
Couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
Eric saying, good about Sally. Thanks for hang dudes. These are always really great. Thanks very much, Eric. Not a problem. We'll be wrapping up somewhat shortly too. But enjoy Romulus. Let us know what you think. If you're on the Discord server, ping me. Let me know. Frank Slater, my first game was a similar success, but luckily I was half successful keeping the scope. That's very important, and well done in doing that, because that's really hard. Kira says, many years ago, tried making board games, but only played with my friends. But that's kind of the fun of it. I feel like, I remember when you first started, Murder Bunnies, it was just to play with friends. I mean, that's what you were doing with Alyssa. You were in hospital, right, at the time.
It was a 2-player game, and it was a great card game, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I find board game design very relaxing because you can like sit up with a bunch of construction paper and like some dice and some stuff and just kind of like make a physical game like at the park or like outside or like you don't have to be on a computer on the internet.
Yes.
So I do like the design of that, but the downside is it requires another player usually, which I don't have a lot of those. So I made one, and that little girl is going to be a game tester.
Yes, she did. Well, that's why you had the kid. That's why you had the kid. Well,
game tester.
All you parents in the chat wondering, how do I game dev with my kid or around my kid? Bring them in, force them to do it. Free labor.
Force them.
Teach them code, and they can do it. Yeah, when Murder Bunnies 2 launches with the paperboard, we'll know why. We will. Tim's made that sacrifice. He's explained it. Everything's gonna be paper. It's gonna be like shitty construction paper. Yeah. Launch a Murder Bunnies digital edition as a flip to the phylophobia situation, and then maybe people will forgive you for that.
So, Murder Bunnies are actually in Battle Barn, which is still upcoming.
Which is so
the
upcoming.
Murder Bunnies themselves, and I tried. This is another stupid artist thing that I shouldn't try to do, but I tried to keep the effects in the game because every bunny has an effect. I tried to keep the effects of the bunnies in this game the same in Battle Barn, which is a completely different game. It's a strategy game, so it's like that was kind of difficult. But like I don't know, there's some kind of artist integrity thing, some delusion I have.
Yeah, but you put a lot of heart and soul into it, so thanks for doing
heart and soul loses you money.
Heart and soul, it does.
Put less heart and soul. Make commercial shovelware.
Put this man in charge of AAA companies right now. He understands.
Just charge $1 for reloads and sell loot boxes.
And sell ammo clips for first-person shooters.
Yes. That's how you get ahead in
That's
life.
cool. It is. It is. It's been nice to see people in the chat today. So we got some. We had a parental. Why am I involved in that conversation? That's crazy.
Because you're a child.
I'm a child. That's true. It's true. Yeah. I'm the other end of Tim. Yeah.
All right. I think it's time for us to end today.
Yes.
But we appreciated hanging out with you guys. Real quick before we end, is there anything we want to ask? Like, do you guys appreciate these types of streams? I know they're different than what we were doing with the live casts. Rick and I would always try to teach stuff, but this is more community focused. We're just talking, we're just chatting.
Yeah.
Do you guys like this format? Do you want a more informational format?
Because for those of you who weren't here last week or whatever, we kind of explained briefly that Tim and I had a lot of conversations about this, and we kind of thought, well, we want to try and have a little bit more of just a hangout, just a bit more of a community effort. And we went back and forth a lot about what do we talk about, what's the focus of the stream, and eventually we're just like, we're going to stop overthinking this. We're just going to go live, we're going to chill out, and we're just going to chat to people. And it seems to be quite good. But it's, if there's anything you guys want to see specifically, if there's any kind of questions you want to ask, if you want to have discussions, if you want to do a specific thing, let us know. And if you're not part of the Discord, Tim, where can they find the Discord link? Is it in the video description? I don't think so.
I think most of these people came from Discord.
Probably, yes.
I think it's GameDev here at GDTV.
You can probably just Google it, can't you? Yeah. /Discord. But yeah, if you're not in the Discord, join up and let us know in there, what you guys want to see. I think I'm just Bim in the Discord, so you can just feel free to ping me directly anytime, any day, and just ask any questions you have or let me know thoughts and feedback. I am in there. I'll try and be a little bit more active. But yeah, because we like hanging out with you guys. Chilling is a good way to keep the community to get motivated. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Communication. I agree with that. I missed Tim since he confused me with doing a DFS in the tile game course on Udemy. Tim, does that ring a bell?
I don't even know what a DFS is.
Were you on the tile course on Udemy, Tim?
I was looking at that sentence trying to no, I could play this off, but nope, I don't. I don't know what I'm getting into if I admit to that. That's doing a DFS.
Nice seeing you guys, bit of banter, a bit of talking, a bit of chilling. Love it. Nice to hang out. Yeah. Cool, guys. All right. Well, we'll be back next week, same time, and maybe we'll bring some more focused questions. Maybe we'll have something more specific to talk about. Maybe maybe we can do some like dev with me streams, or we're just deving, or I'm deving, and you guys dev along, and we can see. Kira says actually this was great. I'm sitting the portfolio reviews. Yeah, where did that guy go? I don't know.
He never posted his portfolio.
Yeah,
so
nobody's ever asked. BFS, sorry.
That doesn't help.
Is it definitely Tim? It might be something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I'm in. There's one Udemy course I'm in, which is the construct course. So
it is.
No. Godot C# I'm in as well.
Right,
but that's been appreciated.
It's cool every now and then. It would be nice to maybe have some more specific training. Also, yeah, we're trying to get. We're going to bring on some instructors once or twice, I think, and maybe get some more kind of deeper dives on Blender or art or whatever. That would be really cool. So we can definitely do that. I would love to do that. You're on time this time, Liaison. Definitely on time. But
have a good night.
We start at the same time, or timings as well. That's another thing. If that's something you guys want to see chopped and changed, if we want to do a little later, we can. But yeah, let us know in the Discord. But yeah, it's really nice hanging out with you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.